transition. Yes, I am. That's Microsoft.
So after Marabini, it's Inkomo Gababa. So we don't turn because there's no space. So she comes in and then we sing immediately. That's fine. Or maybe Faisal, maybe come here. Because at least
Immediately?
yes, immediately. So let's go.
Long
we sing Ukwathula Umoya, ne? But without the part. We can do once Kwangena Tinabo, but then when we come back after Lizela, we sing about the graduates, Kwangeni graduates only. But I have always dance.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much to the choir. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to the Rhodes University Autumn Graduation Ceremony, a ceremony dedicated to honoring our master's and PhD graduates, the creme de la creme of academic excellence. Today, we gather not only to celebrate their remarkable achievements, but also to witness the culmination of years of dedication, perseverance, and intellectual pursuits. Today, we also have the distinct honor of witnessing a truly historic moment, the installation of a new chancellor. One of Rhodes University's most revered and illustrious sons returns home to take up the mantle of leadership. So it is also a celebration of legacy, of excellence, and the spirit that makes Rhodes University the institution we are also proud to call home. Before we begin, I humbly request for your attention for the following announcements. Firstly, we humbly request that all mobile phones be switched off or set to silent mode. May I kindly request you to do that now, please? Please switch it off, or please put it on silent mode. Because today belongs to our graduates and our chancellor. Let us give them our full attention and ensure that nothing distracts us from their moment of triumph. Secondly, we wholeheartedly, and we mean it, we wholeheartedly encourage you to celebrate, to cheer, to ululate, to beam with pride. But when your graduate crosses the stage, we kindly ask you to rejoice, make all the noise, but when they have crossed the stage, we humbly request that you allow others the same honor by keeping the hall silent for the next name to be called. Every single graduate deserves their moment in the spotlight. Thirdly, please refrain from flash photography as it interferes with the official photographers capturing the special moments. Fourthly, we ask that you stand for the academic procession at the beginning of the ceremony and you remain standing until you are invited to sit down. At the conclusion of the ceremony, there will be a national anthem that will be sang. Please do not leave the venue. Please remain standing until the procession has exited and all the academic staff have actually exited the venue. Should you require any assistance, our friendly ushers in your purple sash will be more than happy to direct you to the restroom or provide any guidance that you may need. Finally, a celebratory reception has been arranged for all graduates and their guests at the conclusion of this ceremony. Please do join us at the Yellowwood Terrace and Thomas Pringle Hall, which is above us. It's located just above this auditorium as we continue to celebrate the remarkable achievements by the graduates. Thank you, and I kindly ask those who are on the edges to please move inside so that when people come later, they'll be able to sit there. Thank you very much. All right, and then in the case of fire, you will be directed by, please do not panic, you will be directed by the ushers. Thank you very much.
We must sing.
Oh, let's do Mele Wam. Right. Mele Wam. Yeah, we
All right, thank you very much to the choir. Ladies and gentlemen, may I kindly invite everyone who is able to do so to please rise for the academic procession.
Ubi
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I constitute this assembly, a congregation of Rhodes University, for the installation of our Chancellor and the conferral of degrees. Please be seated.
Professor Sizwe Mabizela, Chancellor-elect, Honorable Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, Mrs. Nosisi Madlanga, and all family and friends of the Madlanga family. Former Chancellor, Honorable Justice Lex Simpati and Mrs. Simpati, Chairperson of the Rhodes University Council, Judge Gerald Bloom, and other members of Council here today, President of Convocation, Mr. Samkel Mkhadi, our honorary graduate, Professor Franklin Larry, your partner, family, and friends, the recipient of the Vice Chancellor's Distinguished Achievement Award, Mrs. Desiree Wicks, family, and friends. Honorable Minister of Basic Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts, and Culture in Namibia, Honorable Sanet Steenkamp MP, and your guest, Sister Eva Bernard. Vice Chancellor of the University of Namibia, Professor Kenneth Matengu, Rhodes University Public Orator, Professor Tom Martin, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research, Innovation, and Strategic Partnerships, Dr. Noma Kwezi Mzilikazi, Registrar Professor Adele Moodley, and our Acting Registrar Professor Michelle Carrols, and other university executives, deans and deputy deans of our 6 faculties, heads of academic departments and directors of divisions, academic and support staff colleagues, SRC President Ms. Linathi Ndubela, and other members of the SRC, distinguished guests, family and friends of our graduates, and most importantly, our graduates. Good morning, and welcome to the 2025 Rhodes University Spring Graduation Ceremony. Today is a day of immense pride and joy. Joy and celebration, a moment to honor the achievements and success of our graduates. This gathering marks a celebration of intellectual curiosity, perseverance, and academic excellence at the highest level. On behalf of our Chancellor, the University Council, and the entire Rhodes University community, it is my privilege to extend heartfelt congratulations to each of you, our masters and doctoral graduates. We rejoice with you and your loved ones in this moment of achievement and fulfillment. Warm congratulations also to your families, partners, friends, and all those whose love, sacrifice, encouragement, and unwavering support have sustained you throughout your academic journey at Rhodes University. Their belief in you, even during moments of challenge and doubt, has played an essential role in helping you reach this proud milestone. Today, they share in your success and joy. Please thank them for their unwavering support and sacrifices. We also express our deep appreciation and gratitude to the faculty deans, academic and support staff, and in particular to your dissertation and thesis supervisors and promoters for their invaluable guidance, mentorship, and intellectual insights. Their dedication continues to strengthen our research culture and uphold the academic integrity that defines Rhodes University as a research-intensive university. A special word of congratulations to Professor Franklin Larry, who will be conferred with an honorary Doctor of Music in recognition of his remarkable contributions to music, education, and leadership. Today, we are privileged to celebrate the achievements of 203 graduates. Of this, 145, that is 72%, will be awarded master's degrees and 28% doctoral degrees. Among them are 130 females and 73 males, reflecting the strength and diversity within our community. 52, that is 26% of our graduates are international students. A proud reflection proud reflection of Rhodes University's growing global footprint and its commitment to fostering cross-border scholarship. Every degree conferred today is a story of hard work, discovery, and contribution to knowledge. We are particularly honored to recognize the Honorable Minister of Basic Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Arts, and Culture, Namibia, Honorable Sanet Steenkamp MP, who will receive her doctoral degree in education. Since 1999, Rhodes University has offered the B.Ed Honors Program, as well as the Master's and Doctoral Studies to students from Namibia, thereby strengthening regional and academic collaboration. Minister Steenkamp enrolled for Master's Studies here at Rhodes University in 2000, becoming part of the very first cohort of Master's students in this partnership, and later pursued her doctoral studies. Honorable Steenkamp is accompanied by her grade 10, 11, and 12 teacher, Sister Eva Bernard, who is here to celebrate the minister's remarkable achievement. In a powerful demonstration of continental collaboration and academic unity, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Namibia, Professor Kenneth Matengu, joins us today to celebrate with the minister. In the same spirit of dedication to students and education, we also bid farewell to a very special individual who has devoted 40 years of her life to Rhodes University, Mrs. Desiree Weeks. Mrs. Weeks has championed student access and support, ensuring that thousands of students from all backgrounds, regardless of race, class, or status, are guided, mentored, and empowered throughout their academic journeys. Today, she will receive the Vice Chancellor's Distinguished Achievement Award in recognition of her unwavering compassion, leadership, and tireless dedication to the holistic development of Rhodes University students. Mrs. Weeks, your commitment has left an indelible mark on this institution, and we wish you a well-deserved and fulfilling retirement. In honor of Mrs. Weeks' remarkable legacy, the University Student Services and Development Division, in collaboration with the Rhodes University Sports Council, will launch an annual golf day in 2026, raising funds to support students facing socioeconomic challenges, ensuring that her lifelong commitment to nurturing and uplifting others continues for years to come. Today's graduation is not just a celebration of academic achievement, but also a historic occasion in the life of Rhodes University. As we bid a heartfelt farewell to our former Chancellor, the Honorable Justice Lex Mpati, we turn the page to a new chapter, celebrating the installation of our 8th Chancellor, the Honorable Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, a proud alumnus of this university and a son of the Eastern Cape. We warmly welcome our new Chancellor-elect, his wife, Menosisi Madlanga, and their family and friends as they join us to celebrate this historic moment. Now, to all our graduates, today is your moment, the culmination of years of hard work, intellectual exploration, and personal sacrifice. Graduation is more than a ceremony. It is a milestone that reflects consistent effort, rigorous scholarship, and commitment to making a difference in the world. The significance of your postgraduate qualifications cannot be overstated, particularly in an era when our society faces increasingly complex social ills and geopolitical challenges that compromise our very being. Your qualifications represent not only personal achievement, but also a call to service and a contribution to nation building. Through your research, you have advanced the frontiers of science, human understanding, and wisdom. Excuse me. Addressing some of society's most pressing questions. Remember, true success and lasting legacy are not measured by wealth or status, but by how you use your knowledge, skills, and abilities to serve others. Your impact will be measured by the positive difference you make in the lives of people and communities. Let integrity, empathy, service guide your decisions and shape your leadership. Please make it your priority to lead with courage, wisdom, and purpose to ensure that future generations will be inspired and guided by your example. The world awaits your contribution, and as Rhodes University, we have every confidence that you will make it brighter, stronger, and more just. Congratulations once again, and thank you. Kyalebua. Enkosi, bayadanki, siyabonga.
To the Vice-Chancellor of Rhodes University, Professor Mabusela, and the University Executive, members of the Rhodes University Council, students, graduates, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a special word of welcome to Mrs. Madlanga, Nosisi Madlanga, and members of the Madlanga family. Justice Madlanga asked me to refer to you as the Madlanga clan, and that's what I'm doing. We also wish to extend a special word of welcome to our previous Chancellor of Rhodes University, Justice Mpati, and Mrs. Mpati. We want to once again thank you for the sterling job you have done over the years. Thank you very much. It is my privilege to address you today regarding the election of Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga as the incoming Chancellor of Rhodes University. This appointment represents not only a ceremonial transition, but rather the elevation of an individual whose life exemplifies the transformative power of education, the pursuit of justice, and the unwavering commitment to constitutional democracy. Justice Madlanga's journey from the rural village of Njinji in Manfred, Kwabaka, to the apex of South Africa's judiciary stands as a testament to his extraordinary intellectual capabilities, his tenacity, and I can testify to that tenacity if you'd just allow me a minute or two. I thought I had a very, very good case, and I sent out the papers, and my opponent thought he had a shaky case, and we went to court, or before we went to court, my opponent then roped in a senior counsel. And my opponent and I were both juniors at the time. He roped in a senior counsel, and then I thought I can do the same, and I roped in a senior counsel. And we got to court, and we were the first to argue, and my senior counsel argued, and I went to my junior counsel, and I said to him, the way my counsel was arguing, I thought we had this in the bag. And my opponent went to me, so. And then my senior counsel sat down, and the senior on the other side got up, and as he started arguing, I decided I'm not looking at my opponent on the other side. Needless to say, we lost the case because someone was tenacious, and that person turned out to be Justice Madlanga. What I thought was a good case, he turned around and he showed the flaws in our case. And I told him I will never forgive him for that. I am dealing with what stands out in him as a person. I've spoken about tenacity and steadfast dedication to the principles of equality and human dignity. His academic credentials are impeccable. A B.Juris degree from the then University of the Transkei, where he was awarded the Jutta Prize for being the top law student. Then he came to Rhodes University, where he obtained the LLB degree and an LLM cum laude from the University of Notre Dame in the United States. He has also been awarded not one, but 2 doctoral degrees from Walter Sisulu University, and they did that before we could do that, and we have subsequently also awarded the honorary doctor degree to Justice Madlanga. His deep connection to the Eastern Cape and Rhodes University makes his appointment as Chancellor of this university a meaningful homecoming. His judicial career has been nothing short of distinguished. In 1996, at the age of 34, Justice Madlanga became the youngest ever appointed judge in the South African judiciary at the time. This early appointment signaled the legal community's recognition of his exceptionality. He went on to serve on the bench in the Supreme Court of Appeal from 1998 to 1999 and returned to practice of law in 2001. He was called to the Constitutional Court in 2013, where he served until his recent retirement, contributing to the development of rigorous and principled jurisprudence. He is widely regarded as an intellectual leader of the Apex Court, having authored nearly 60 judgments that have overwhelmingly commanded either unanimous or majority support from his fellow justices. Beyond his judicial accomplishments, Justice Madlanga has demonstrated a profound commitment to public service. He represented South Africa at the International Court of Justice in The Hague in a significant case concerning the legal consequences of the construction of a wall in the occupied Palestinian territory. He appeared before the International Court of Justice as counsel for South Africa. That was in the 2004 case, which examined the legality of Israel's separation wall. As you know, currently he serves as the chairperson of the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference, and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System, better known as the Madlanga Commission, continuing his dedication to accountability and transparency in our democratic institutions. What makes Justice Madlanga particularly worthy of this chancellorship is not simply his impressive curriculum vitae, but rather the values he embodies. He represents the ideals to which Rhodes University aspires. Those include academic excellence, social justice, intellectual leadership, and service to society. As the son of this institution, where leaders learn, he has scaled the heights of legal scholarship and judicial service. And he now returns to guide the next generation of graduates towards similarly meaningful contributions to our nation and the world. The appointment of Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga as Chancellor represents an inspired choice that honors both his remarkable achievements and Rhodes University's commitment to excellence. His leadership will undoubtedly strengthen Rhodes University's dedication to producing graduates who are not only academically accomplished, but also deeply committed to the values of justice, equality, and human dignity that define our constitutional democracy. In conclusion, sir, I present to you with pride Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga to be installed as Chancellor of this university.
Sir, it having pleased you to accept the invitation of the Council of this university to assume the office of Chancellor, I now request you to undertake the pledge of office.
I pledge myself to faithfully perform the duties of Chancellor and to defend by all lawful means Rhodes University's rights and privileges in its pursuit of knowledge and truth, its promotion of democratic ideals, social justice, academic freedom, ethical conduct, and social responsibility, and its quest for outstanding teaching and learning, rigorous scholarship, and socially committed community engagement.
Sir, on behalf of Rhodes University, I now install you into the office of Chancellor and invest you with the authority, rights, and privileges appertaining thereto.
Sit down and
Honored guests, colleagues, family, and friends, I have the great honor to present to you Justice Mbuyiseni Madlanga, now installed as the Chancellor of Rhodes University.
Vice Chancellor and all various offices and officers of the esteemed university, Rhodes University, including members of the administrative staff and academic staff, and of course, the students, in particular, those graduating here today. I cannot forget my family who are near and dear to my heart. Good morning to you all. My address today is aptly titled Rhodes University, Where Leaders Learn. Thank you for welcoming me back to Rhodes University, my alma mater. Thank you for electing and installing me as this prestigious university's chancellor. What makes this opportunity humbling and heartwarming for me is the fact that I follow in the footsteps of a person I call Ubud Lex, that is Justice Lex Mpati, who departed or vacated this office recently. This is a huge honor for me. At the Constitutional Court, where I was until my retirement on 31 July 2025, it is customary for each intake of law clerks or researchers to do what is called a meet and greet with each justice of the court. This happens 6 monthly. At the meet and greet of January this year, Tsukudu Murweng, a law clerk to one of my colleagues who studied and later worked at the institution, told me a heartwarming story, which I would like to share with you. He said that during his time on campus here at Rhodes, he spent many days admiring the photographs of alumni on display across the corridors in the law faculty. These were photographs of Rhodes alumni who later became judges. On display, among others, were portraits of the much revered immediate past chancellor of this university, Justice Lex Mpati. A portrait of the respected current chairperson of council, Justice Gerald Bloom, of whom the vice-chancellor spoke so well yesterday evening, and a portrait of a much younger and more handsome me, taken in 1996 when I was first appointed as a High Court judge. To Mr. Murweng, these pictures represented a legal lineage with which he shared the Rhodian DNA. To Mr. Murweng, the portraits of these black judges in particular were a representation of the endless possibilities that lay ahead for him as a black legal student and scholar. His appointment to the Constitutional Court as a law clerk and researcher afforded him an opportunity to work closely with someone he drew inspiration from during his formative years as a lawyer, an opportunity that was born of this great institution. I could say the same about the genesis of my growth in law. The tutelage I received at Rhodes University did not only earn me a spot in the faculty's wall of fame, but it contributed immensely to my judicial career. I have had the privilege of serving in the judiciary for 17 years, retiring at the Apex Court as the acting Deputy Chief Justice, all thanks to this exceptional institution. On reflection, the journeys of the two colleagues I have mentioned, Justices Mpati and Bloom, and mine have truly embodied the motto of Rhodes University, which is Rhodes University, where leaders learn. This calls to mind the impressive list of prominent leaders and alumni such as Professor P.T. Mtuze, Rhodes University's first black professor who opened the gates of scholarship wider, proving that language and culture are not peripheral to knowledge, but at its very heart. A poet, theologian, and educator, he gave voice to a heritage that had long been silenced and helped redefine what it means to teach and lead in South Africa. The towering Justice Lex Mpati, former president of the Supreme Court of Appeal, who carried the spirit of integrity into the nation's judiciary, is also worth mentioning. His journey from student activist to one of South Africa's most respected jurists stands as a testament to the transformative power of education grounded in fairness, service, and courage. Beyond the courtroom, Justice Mpati continued to shape the moral and intellectual fabric of our nation through his leadership as Chancellor of this institution, demonstrating that education is at its best when it cultivates both wisdom and character. There is also Leanne Manas, a stalwart news anchor and trusted national voice, who has spent 2 decades guiding South Africans through stories that shape or unfortunately break our democracy. Her professionalism, empathy, and integrity remind us that leadership also lives in how we listen, question, and inform. Lastly, on my short list is Wamkele Kiabetsui Mene, the first Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Area. He represents Rhodes University's spirit on a global stage, a distinguished trade diplomat and visionary leader who carries forward the belief that Africa's growth and prosperity lie in collaboration, building bridges of opportunity across borders, nations, and generations. I should not be misunderstood. The few names I've mentioned do not even begin to demonstrate the length and breadth of the body of leaders and people who serve our nation and the world in a variety of fields and industries. I mean no disrespect for not mentioning others. It is just that to mention them all would be an impossible task. I should just say, fellow Rhodians, I salute and honor you all. Today I stand here with a posture of servant leadership, ready to serve this very institution which has indelibly contributed to the formative years of my 44 years of association with and being a participant in the legal field. As Chancellor, it will be an honor and privilege to provide strategic guidance to ensure that this institution continues to produce more worthy leaders who will be pioneers of innovation across various sectors in society. That, of course, I will only be able to do with all role players holding my hand. Here in Makhanda, leadership is kindled in the dialogue between knowledge and conscience, between the classroom and the community. This is a town that tests endurance and imagination in equal measure, a place of extraordinary spirit and deep challenge. People live and work amid realities that are as complex as they are humbling, where water shortages remind us daily of the shared vulnerability and responsibility. Yet, it is precisely in facing these conditions that Rhodes University reveals its strength. When the taps run dry, our students and staff do not despair. They adapt, they design solutions, share resources, and learn the value of stewardship. The water crisis has become, in its own way, an education in sustainability and solidarity, a real-time lesson in what it means to lead with both intellect and empathy. Our staff, too, embody that same conviction. The postgraduate funding drive stands as a remarkable act of collective leadership among student leaders and staff, demonstrating that when resources are scarce, compassion and creativity can fill the gap. By ensuring that talented students are not denied opportunities for lack of means, they keep the university's mission alive in the most practical and human way possible. This is what it means to study, teach, and live where leaders learn. It means transforming challenge into opportunity, hardship into innovation, and adversity into courage. It means understanding that leadership is not found in comfort, but in commitment, and not in privilege, but in purpose. When graduates leave Rhodes and Makhanda, they carry with them more than a degree. They carry the lessons of resilience learned in seasons of trial, the creativity forged in constraint, and the sense of moral compass shaped by community. They go on not merely to serve the world, but to help run it with integrity, imagination, and hearts that are the Rhodes spirit. That is what it means to be part of a university where leaders learn. In the decade ahead, Rhodes University must stand not only as a place of learning, but as a model of what a deeply rooted, forward-looking African university can be, Our task is to transform without losing our essence, to preserve the intimacy of a small collegial institution while expanding our reach, our research, and our relevance. We will strengthen our commitment to excellence with equity, ensuring that every talented student, regardless of circumstance, can find opportunity here and flourish. We will deepen our research impact not merely through publications, but by ensuring that our scholarship comes alive in laboratories, startups, in classrooms, and in communities where the knowledge becomes a catalyst for change. 4. It is through the fusion of research and innovation that universities move societies forward, advancing technologies, empowering entrepreneurs, and addressing the grand challenges of our time. We will lead in sustainability, ensuring that this university is not only resilient in crisis, but regenerative in its vision. A campus that models the environmental consciousness we teach. We will invest in the digital transformation, building classrooms and laboratories that connect Makhanda and the Eastern Cape to the world, while keeping our human connection at the center of all that we do. The Tibelo Nyokong Institute for Nanotechnology Innovation is testament to this commitment. From clean water innovations to climate resilience, from ethical journalism to digital literacy, our scholars must continue to answer the real questions of our time. We must confront with courage and creativity one of the greatest challenges facing our nation: youth unemployment. At Rose, we must not only educate our students to seek jobs, but to create them. Through innovation, digital literacy, and enterprise development, we must empower our graduates to turn their ideas into ventures, their skills into livelihoods, and their passions into purpose. Our commitment is to nurture entrepreneurial thinkers, graduates who see possibility where others see limitation, and who carry forward the conviction that their education is not an end in itself, but a means to build a more inclusive and dynamic economy. Above all, we will nurture a culture where learning and leadership remain inseparable, where our graduates are prepared to find their meaningful place in the world. This is the Rhodes University we know, whose standards we must not only maintain, but must push to even greater heights. An institution rooted in tiny Makhanda, but reaching across Africa and the world, and holding fast to its enduring promise of being a place where leaders learn. As I assume the position of Chancellor of this great university, I do so with humility and hope. I am mindful that the role of Chancellor is not one of command, but one of titular head. In that capacity, I will do all that I can to contribute towards safeguarding the values that make this institution worthy of its history and promise. My promise is simple: to listen before I speak, to serve before I lead, and to work with all who share the belief that knowledge and conscience belong together. I want to be a champion of a Rhodes University that continues to open its doors wider, think more boldly, and act more justly. Let us go forward together as students, administrative staff, academics, and alumni to write the next chapter of this university's proud story. Let us keep kindling leadership in every lecture hall, every laboratory, every residence, and every act of service. And let us never forget who we are and what we stand for. A community of purpose and promise right here, where leaders learn. Thank you all.
Mr. Chancellor, it's time to start work. It is my privilege to introduce you to Franklin Larry and say a little bit about his life from its humble beginnings through artistic struggle to his achievements as a performer, scholar and advocate for music education. Franklin Larry was born in South Africa, growing up in a rural environment outside of Cape Town. His family lived on a farm and his father taught at a small school for farm workers' children. From early on, Larry harboured a fascination with music, though the world around him offered few opportunities to explore it, at least not formally. In apartheid South Africa, classical music resources in particular were allocated by race, and many talented young black South Africans had limited or no access to music instruction in their schools. In an interview conducted by the Library of Congress in America, Franklin described listening to music through library recordings. There was a small local library, as I understand it, and he made friends with the librarian who was sympathetic to him, and she ensured a supply of music that would come through to a library that would not normally would have it, because what have they got to do with music? But she managed to arrange it, so kudos to her. I don't know her name, but she helped him borrow musical scores. A turning point came on his 16th birthday when his parents arranged for him to begin piano lessons. I don't know very many concert pianists, don't know about you. The only two that I know, I asked, and I said, if I was to describe an accomplished, acclaimed concert pianist and say, they started learning the piano at 16, would you consider that unusual? And the response was, that is utterly remarkable. Yeah, given the opportunity now to play the piano, he practiced intensively, progressing through beginner material rapidly, soon attracted the attention of a more formally trained teacher who subsequently became a mentor in his development. Despite his musical promise, Larry faced obstacles. He was interested in attending the University of Cape Town, but we're talking apartheid times, and admission for black students there was heavily constrained, and instead he went to the University of Western Cape, happily earning a BA in music and psychology, later a teaching diploma, and was appointed a junior lecturer for a while. In 1986, Larry won a Fulbright scholarship to study in the United States. On this scholarship, he entered the University of Cincinnati's College Conservatory of Music, where he went on to complete a master's and then a doctoral degree in musical arts. This opportunity not only gave him the technical skill and academic credentials to flourish, but also brought him into an environment of international music exchange and possibility. As a pianist, Franklin Larry has earned acclaim for his interpretations of composers such as Brahms, Mozart, Ravel. He's performed on prominent stages, including the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., and the Carnegie Hall in New York. But Larry's not only a performer, he's also a thinker and an educator. His scholarship focuses particularly on theoretical issues in Brahms' studies. Over his career, he has held academic and leadership roles in several institutions. He taught, no irony here, for many years at the University of Cape Town, where he also served as director of the South African College of Music. During this time, he taught and mentored many young South Africans who subsequently have gone on to become acclaimed performers and academics themselves. And a very dear colleague of ours in our department of music, Dominic Daula, who's probably here somewhere, is one of them, is a Larry alumnus, we'll call him. So thank you for that. In 2019, he became director of the School of Music at Illinois Wesleyan University in the States, and in 2023, and up until the present, as I understand it, the director of the School of Music and professor of music at Ball State University in Indiana. Accomplished performer, accomplished academic. But perhaps one of Franklin Larry's greatest legacies lies in his commitment to making music more inclusive and accessible. During his years in South Africa, he started programs to offer free music instruction to underprivileged children, often using and presumably having to negotiate the use of community pianos, pianos at churches, pianos at schools to make the instruments available. And he taught many of these children himself, which involved no small sacrifice of personal time. In the interview with the Library of Congress, he claims that for 20 years he did not have a Saturday off. So, why do this? Because he believed deeply that musical opportunity should not be limited by socio-economic background. In closing, in some ways, Franklin Larry's journey has now come full circle, from starting in rural South Africa, through global stages and academic corridors, leading institutions where he's shaped the next generation of musicians. Here he is back in rural South Africa, in Makanda. But this time it is obviously to receive recognition for the remarkable journey on which he has been. His story teaches us that music is not merely an aesthetic indulgence. It can be a vehicle for change, a way to transcend divisions, and a powerful language of possibility. Mr. Chancellor, I have the distinct honour to request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Music honoris causa on Franklin Larry.
Chancellor Justice Matlanga, Vice-Chancellor Professor Sizwe Mambizela, Chairperson Judge Bloom, and members of the Rhodes University Council. Deputy Vice-Chancellor Dr. Kwezi Mzilikazi, Deputy Vice-Chancellor Professor Mabukang Munapula Mapezela, Public Orator Professor Tom Martin, Deans, academics, support staff, and students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and especially graduates and family and guardians of graduates. Good morning. It is a profound privilege to stand before you today, both as a recipient of this honorary Doctor of Music degree, and more importantly, as a fellow traveler in the great journey of musical and educational life. To be welcomed by Rhodes University, a university whose commitment to scholarship, regional collaboration, and intellectual leadership is known across Southern Africa and beyond, is deeply humbling. Let me begin by warmly congratulating the newly installed Chancellor, the Honorable Justice Madlanga. Your appointment heralds an inspiring new chapter in Rhodes' history. The values you carry, integrity, justice, and commitment to service, resonate powerfully with the mission of this university. I look forward to witnessing and supporting the wisdom and direction you will bring to this institution. When I reflect on my own path, from the constraints of apartheid-era South Africa, where access to formal instruction, music instruction, was often denied, to becoming a concert pianist, a scholar, and a director of a school of music, I see a trajectory shaped not only by individual aspiration, but by the belief that music can open doors and heal divides. At times, my journey felt improbable. To study the piano, to perform, to teach, all of these demanded persistence, sacrifice, and a willingness to work in the margins. Yet each barrier, whether institutional, geographical, or financial, also became a spur, reminding me that music is not primarily about privilege, but also about service. In each institution I have served, whether the University of Cape Town, the University of the Western Cape, the South African College of Music, Illinois Wesleyan University, and now Ball State University, I have sought to bring two convictions to bear. Excellence need not exclude access. One can create high standards while still widening the circle of participation. Music itself is a bridge. It connects cultures, generations, and communities. It gives a voice to the unheard. At Ball State, for instance, as director of the School of Music, I have advocated for curriculum innovations, new funding mechanisms, and community partnerships that allow students from diverse backgrounds to thrive. My research on the music of Johannes Brahms has been a vehicle not only for deep musical insight, but also for mentoring students in the art of discipline, creativity. Throughout, I have remained mindful that accomplishments is not about reaching a destination, but about opening paths for others to follow. As you, new graduates, now step into your careers, I offer a few convictions I hold for the future of music and education, both as aspiration and as invitation. Music does not live in a vacuum. Every performance, every teaching moment, every composition has the potential to speak into society. Graduates today must remain alert to issues of equity, representation, and social justice. Strive to be scholars who listen, who respond, and who amplify marginalized voices. Forge cross-disciplinary and cross-cultural bridges. The greatest breakthroughs in music education and in the arts more broadly emerge when we collaborate across sectors with technology, with social justice, with public health, with community development. The challenges of our age, inequality, climate change, digital divides, demand that we conceive our work not as an insular domain, but as an active partner in problem solving and empathy building. In many regions, access to music instruction is hampered by infrastructure, distance, and cost. We must imagine low latency networks, hybrid and remote models, scalable pedagogies, and resource sharing that bring quality music learning to underserved communities. Part of your responsibilities, as I see it, is to create opportunity, not just for yourself, but for those who come after you. Cultivate students, invest in younger colleagues, build alliances, and nurture a culture of generosity rather than scarcity. Our disciplines must not be defended by gatekeeping, but enlarged by sharing. Remain rooted in scholarship and humility. Even at the heights of achievement, I urge you to stay curious. Let your discipline itself teach you. Let your students teach you. Let your disappointments teach you. Rhodes University's commitment to rigorous research, to regional collaboration, and to public engagement reminds us that scholarship is not self-contained. It serves society. A word to our graduates. To each of you, the freshly minted scholars, you stand now at a moment of both possibility and responsibility. You have earned advanced training, you have demonstrated resilience, creativity, and intellectual courage. That's no small thing. But the world you enter is also changing rapidly. Audiences are shifting, resources are under pressure, new technologies are redefining access. The need is great for people with vision, integrity, and empathy. As you step out, be bold, collaborate fearlessly with colleagues in other fields, with community organizations, and with technological innovators. Listen deeply, especially to those whose voices might not always be heard. Teach even when it is hard. The rhythm of giving to future students is a powerful force. Hold tight to your humanity. Receiving this honorary Dimas from Rhodes University is deeply personal for me. It is a homecoming of sorts, not just geographically, though that is meaningful, but spiritually. It affirms that the journey from exclusion to recognition is not solitary. It is tied to the institutions and the communities that invest in possibility. Rhodes University is more than a seat of learning. It's a hub of regional collaboration, of transformative research, and of cultural commitment in the Eastern Cape and across the SADC region. The university's partnership with Namibian educational institutions, its role in scholarly networks, and its dedication to serving as a bridge institution all confirm a vision that resonates with me deeply. To Rhodes University, thank you, not only for the honor you grant me today, but for the foundational role you play in shaping the next generation of thinkers, artists, and leaders. In closing, may this moment not simply be an accolade, but a renewed commitment for all of us, a commitment to a future of excellence, access, social responsibility, and shared imagination. To you, the graduates, I say, this world needs your voice. Use it wisely, generously, and boldly. Thank you, and may the music we share continue to transform lives and communities. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Pharmacy on the following candidates. Hlengiwe Moyo, with distinction in pharmacy practice. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Science in Pharmacy. Oyindamola Marian Olalide Ajani, with distinction in pharmaceutics. Sonal Bana, with distinction in pharmaceutics. Leseli Chipomo, with distinction in pharmacology. Munyaradzi Chiundura, in pharmacology. Oisa Sisipo Hope Kachaza, with distinction in pharmacology. Handsome Jovu, with distinction in pharmaceutics. Praise Tatenda Nawu, with distinction in pharmacology. Karen Ruth Sanyu, with distinction in pharmacology.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Business Administration on the following candidates. Onovuyo Fakadi, Nkosi Jali, Christopher Melumzi Mayekiso, Sisanda James Nompumza, Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Commerce on the following candidates. Robin John Galloway in taxation with distinction. Rufaro Joylan Kanganga in integrative thinking with distinction. Vusimani Priyan Kubayi. Matthew James Looney in financial markets with distinction. Dakutwa Blessing Makua in financial markets. Thank you. Agnes Tulalefang Malatsi in financial markets. Emma Tarira Marwa in financial management. Danik Jude Miller in economics with distinction. Tanya Nglovu in financial management. Kolela Nzamela in financial markets with distinction. Lavi Lesan Mavis Nitsi Shingwenzi in integrative thinking. Harten Tanganirwe Nitsi in financial markets. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Economics on the following candidates. Lelima Dosini in economics with distinction.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Education on the following candidates. Nomkopiso Monica Kanka in Environmental Education. Petrina Kamene Mafuro in English language teaching. Zikona Mamase in education.
Mr. Chancellor, I request you to confer the degree of Master of Laws on the following candidates. Xolelwa Mkula with distinction. Mosele Emily Moleko.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Science on the following candidates. Rochelle Bessinger in Entomology with distinction. Vasco Salvador Cosa in Physics with distinction. Faith Quanele Dlamini in Fishery Science with distinction. Asisipo Vanessa Duboyi in Microbiology with distinction. Terry Catherine Harris in Human Kinetics and Ergonomics with distinction. Lethaletu Hashe in Biotechnology with distinction. Christian Dieter Hempel in Ichthyology with distinction. Kamogelo Shailin Shabangwane in Chemistry with distinction. Catherine Lorna Curry in Botany with distinction. Offense Shadi Kumani in Human Kinetics and Ergonomics with distinction. Kuhula California Lopondo in Entomology. Petunia Redani Masihani in chemistry with distinction. Tafadzwa Lena Makuza in geography. Bonolo Maloma in human kinetics and ergonomics. Manketso Busisiwe Mangena in bioinformatics. Elishe Mankunsu in zoology. Teresa Vanessa Masalesa in entomology with distinction. Chikizwa Matumane in geography. Rotondwa Mashidzi in environmental science. Taboho Madiniswa in microbiology. Emily Claire Morgan in bioinformatics with distinction. Anita Beauty and Dambani in biochemistry. Sumfundu Nkisa in entomology with distinction. Anavuyo Notsonono in bioinformatics. Wade Terence Sexton in entomology with distinction. Kieran Robert Albert Skay in human kinetics and ergonomics with distinction. Dane Malcolm Ronald Smith in human kinetics and ergonomics with distinction. Gabriela Malaika Solomons in microbiology with distinction. Nomsa Teperevera in chemistry. Praise Tembo in biotechnology with distinction. Ntati Chale in human kinetics and ergonomics with distinction. Bradley Garth van Heerden in fishery science. Michaela Weber in physics with distinction. Sipinduwe Zaza in applied mathematics. Tusarai Zimuwandi in biotechnology.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Arts on the following candidates. Alia Abu Bakar in Journalism and Media Studies with distinction. Chandra Delmain Avery in Psychology. Kiran Phil Blau in Journalism and Media Studies with distinction. Catherine Susan Bloy in English with distinction. Okuhle Botwana in Political and International Studies. Amin Kaji in Anthropology with distinction. Micah Sunshine Kemp in Classics. More Blessing Chinhea in Linguistics and Applied Language Studies. Kyra Ensil Davis in English with distinction. Awongwa Kwelu in Philosophy. Larry Chanel Hallowes in History with distinction. Gareth David Rowland Kirby in History. Liyema Kosi in Development Studies. Thank you. Thomas Ian Kruger in psychology. Jessica Maria Lowe in clinical psychology with distinction. Nkosinamandla Makastela in industrial and economic sociology with distinction. Tara Amanda Magna in classics with distinction. Abongile Manka in drama. Matsubane Lehonolo Masugu in journalism and media studies. Lian Kane May in political and international studies. Bianca Judith McLean in journalism and media studies with distinction. Palesa Kenewe Monke in counseling psychology. Lisego Angelina Munyao in political and international studies. Pau Bushevenko Simunemo in English with distinction. Dagan Alexander Niesa in political and international studies. Colin Wayne Nass in journalism and media studies with distinction. Nkosi Spile Ngobo in journalism and media studies with distinction. Gwen Snamava Pai in African language studies with distinction. Onelisa Melissa Slater in linguistics and applied language studies with distinction. Edward Tsumele in creative writing with distinction. Asipe Zinhle Otando Chu in development studies. Babalwa Zogoza in counseling psychology. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Fine Art on the following candidates. Daniel Retief with distinction. Ms. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Social Science on the following candidates. Nonyezi Klo Bill in Psychology. Chanel Vanessa Camille Descroziles Matsures in Psychology. Alisa Lana Ferreira in Sociology. Simpiwe Gonga in Political and International Studies. Hayden Dean Harris in Anthropology. Nosipo Posha Tlombe in Anthropology. Rachel Melissa Jochens in Sociology with distinction. Onele Lebohang Ntsona in Sociology with distinction. Sipokazi Emma Ntuli in Sociology. Thank you very much. Thank you. Evelyn Acheng Ojambo in Journalism and Media Studies with distinction. Sidi Hala in Political and International Studies. Eloise Nadine Rennie in Anthropology with distinction. Busisiwe Catherine Sibe in Political and International Studies. Brooklyn Claire Sofianos in Political and International Studies. Bongiwe Tenze in Anthropology with distinction.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy on the following candidates. Nawabizwe Malimba in Economics. This thesis explores the relationship between absorptive capacity, intra-industry trade, and growth in South Africa's pharmaceutical sector from 2002 to 2021. Using the marginal intra-industry trade index and structural equation model, the study finds a weak intra-industry trade that hampers development, foreign direct investment, institutional quality, and patent applications, and these are key determinants of absorptive capacity. This highlights the need for stronger, innovative systems and supportive policies. Huda Bawongwa Namirembe in Social and Economic Policy. Huda's study investigates the value creation in private-public partnerships, and these projects are in Uganda. It demonstrates that while many countries use public-private partnerships, some projects still fail. The research finds that failures are often due to barriers in the form of transaction costs throughout the project's life cycle. The barriers hinder or diminish value creation. The thesis develops and presents a framework to guide stakeholders in limiting barriers throughout the product cycle. Letukuhle Nkube in Management. Ms. Nkube's research examines the quality of ESG, environmental, social and governance, reporting among South African companies. The research develops a model that measures the relationships between self-reported policies and controversies. Her findings reveal a paradox. Companies claiming to have extensive environmental and social policies demonstrated the lowest reporting quality, suggesting that they are legitimacy seeking rather than genuinely committed. The external examiners commended her rigorous study, which provides insights for stakeholders seeking to distinguish between symbolic compliance and substantive accountability in the pursuit of corporate social responsibility. Nkobile Nzamandi in economics. This thesis examines social mobility in South Africa using harmonized, nationally representative household data collected from 1994 to 2017. The analysis tracks the education and employment trajectories of 4 pseudo cohorts of young South Africans, and then compares measures of intergenerational earnings elasticity with internationally comparative inequality of opportunity index. The findings place South Africa amongst the worst performers globally and demonstrate that apartheid's legacy continues to shape mobility outcomes across racial and gender lines. Chanel Zhao in Information Systems. This study examines responsible data practices in sexual reproductive health, mobile application, enabling youth across 6 SADC nations to report sexual and reproductive health issues. Using Zimbabwe as a case study, the research reveals significant challenges in privacy protection, consent processes, and understanding the data rights amongst stakeholders. The findings highlight gaps in existing data, governance frameworks, and recommend clearer contextual boundaries, comprehensive data policies, and improved consent procedures to enhance transparency and accountability while supporting youth engagement in the sexual reproductive health, service delivery, and policy making. Examiners noted that the study makes a significant contribution to information systems discipline, policy, and practice by advancing discussions on responsible data in the use of digital health, accountability, citizen participation, offering substantive insights that are both theoretical and practical.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Education on the following candidates. Grant Alexander Seister. This narrative study seeks to understand why doctoral candidates would choose to leave their PhD before completing it. Looking at university-specific issues that impact persistence and retention, such as supervisory support, institutional research culture, and community support. The study found that universities can do more to communicate expectations to prospective PhD students before they register. And there is also more that they can do once students have registered, including supervisor training, strengthening research culture, and creating better support structures. These findings are valuable for postgraduate and doctoral educators. Sibongile Melody Dlamini. In examining the preparation of pre-service English teachers, Dlamini used poetry teaching as a window to explore initial teacher education. Drawing on social, cultural, and critical theory, Dlamini found that current pedagogical practices fail to equip beginner teachers with the knowledge and skills they need to meaningfully teach poetry in South African classrooms. By exposing how historical inequalities persist in teacher education, her study calls for reflection, curriculum reform, and policy change to advance transformation. Roha Tufilungenda Mika. This formative interventionist study supported grade 11 chemistry teachers in becoming cultural knowledge brokers. By leveraging the indigenous practice of marula oil extraction and utilizing change laboratories, exemplar lessons that integrate indigenous knowledge into science were co-developed and used in classrooms. The study found a significant shift in the participating teachers' agency and cultural responsiveness, and found the practice of marula oil extraction to be an effective cultural tool for mediating the teaching and learning of chemistry concepts. Luto Nyanda. This study explored how English first additional language pre-service teachers developed academic writing skills in an undergraduate research module. Drawing on systemic functional linguistics and cultural historical activity theory, Nyanda found that while the participating students engaged with academic writing processes, they struggled to produce coherent research proposals and reports. He identified missed opportunities for stronger support and integration of writing instruction. His work is significant for transforming teacher education to enhance academic literacy, agency, and identity, ultimately improving English literacy in South African schools. Asipe Mqalisa. When students enter university, they bring with them complex stories that extend far beyond enrollment statistics. Through collaborative storytelling with 18 students across the 4 Eastern Cape universities, this study demonstrates how issues like language, financial struggles, gender-based violence, and digital divides create overlapping challenges that cannot be understood through single-lens approaches. By centering student voices and using a narrative photo-voice methodology, Asipe's work advances intersectional approaches for transformation in higher education and contributes insights for more inclusive university environments. Victoria Nepembe. This research examines the evolution of technological pedagogical content knowledge among vocational education and training center educators in Namibia. The multi-case study reveals a foundational lack of understanding, but also educators' agentive, self-initiated learning to integrate technology even in the absence of formal guidelines. The study proposed a new framing of VET TPAC as a duality, knowledge shaped by external contexts or contextualized knowledge, and knowledge of the educational environment itself, contextual knowledge. This proposed framework offers theoretical clarity and the practical means to effectively integrate technology within vocational education and training in a developing country context. Nkosi Kona Sean Nkosi. In the shadows of apartheid's end, South Africa's educational landscape still bears witness to spatial inequalities. This study critically examines the production and reproduction of social, cultural, and physical space in 3 primary schools in Makhanda. Using decolonial and spatial theory, Nkosi analyzes how colonial legacies continue to shape the spaces for teaching and learning. He calls on educators to resist the complex, often invisible barriers to meaningful learning. He also uncovers potential opportunities within these educational environments with which to work towards more context-relevant and socially just educational offerings. Simbongile Ntwasa. Why do some students succeed in university while others don't? And who decides? This study examined student development programs at historically black universities, revealing that well-intentioned support initiatives often reproduce the very inequalities they aim to address. It demonstrates how deficit-based approaches position black students as problems to be fixed, rather than recognizing systemic barriers found within universities. This work challenges institutions to move beyond remedial interventions, to address structural inequalities, and to claim higher education's role in advancing social justice. Sanet Lentrude Steenkamp. This formative interventionist study explored the possibility of teacher leadership in 2 resource schools in Namibia. Resource schools have special provisions for learners with disabilities and learning barriers, and their teachers have unique areas of expertise that have thus far been overlooked in inclusive education research and practice. Over 4 years, Sanet engaged with teachers and officials to collectively address the complex educational challenges in this setting. The process resulted in the development of agency, the formation of self-initiated multi-professional teams, and cross-sector collaboration. The study thus offers strategies to advance teacher leadership in inclusive education. Brunel Louise Steyn. What forces shaped the very first universities in South Africa, and why does this matter today? This groundbreaking study traces the social origins of higher education in the Cape Colony from 1652 to 1874, revealing how power structures, knowledge systems, and patterns of access emerged over time. By applying Archer's social realist framework to this historical analysis, the research provides a theoretical lens for understanding educational change, offering vital insights for contemporary efforts to transform higher education towards greater social justice. Ruben Chifulufelwe. Significant power dynamic contradictions constrain collective ecosystem restoration practices in South Africa. Through a multi-year expansive learning process, using a formative interventionist research approach and the design of new learning actions and tools, Ruben worked with multiple actors to collectively address these complex contradictions. This co-engaged study in the Blyde River catchment demonstrates how expansive learning leads to transformative agency and the reimagining of ethical political intentions that advance improved natural resource management, social justice, and ecosystem restoration at a landscape level.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Science on the following candidates. Laura Joan Bannatyne in Geography. Sediment carried by rivers poses a threat to the lifespan of reservoirs. In South Africa, standard practice typically fails to monitor floods which transport most of the sediment. A flood-focused monitoring system employing local residents has been set up in the Tinsa catchment. Laura's research set out to evaluate the degree of uncertainty associated with the resulting unique data set. Her assessment showed that citizen science monitoring can effectively calibrate sediment models and support catchment management while employing local people. Congratulations. Tania Tashia Bennett in Entomology. The agricultural industry faces many challenges, with insect pests being key among them. While chemical insecticides remain widely used, there is an urgency to develop safer alternatives. Tania discovered and characterized a novel virus of a fruit-piercing moth, a pest particularly a problem to emerging citrus farmers in the Committee Drift area of the Eastern Cape, and advanced our understanding of its genetics and biology. In addition, she developed molecular techniques to improve virus detection, providing valuable tools for future research and contributing to sustainable pest management solutions. Congratulations. Chiradidzo Rispina Chamboko in Bioinformatics. When we take medicine, it does not always work the same for everyone. Sometimes it even causes side effects such as toxicity. This happens because genes differ from person to person. Chiraditso's study on a key enzyme called CYP2D6, which helped process about a quarter of all medicines. She explored how genetic changes can alter its activity and extended this research to African-specific variations with unknown clinical consequences. Her ultimate goal was to establish cost-effective, Africa-appropriate approaches for pharmacogenomics, enabling safer, more personalized treatments for everyone. Congratulations. Miriam Chishala Kampambwe in microbiology. Miriam's research focused on the mycobacterium which causes tuberculosis in humans. She investigated the role of DNA-K protein system in the bacteria's ability to grow and withstand stresses during infection. Through the generation and analysis of multiple mycobacterial mutants, she demonstrated that DNA-K is essential for bacterial survival as well as its resistance to stress or antibiotic encountered during infection. Her findings demonstrate that targeting DNA-K activity may represent a promising future strategy for the treatment of TB patients. Congratulations. Deli Abdisa Kineni in chemistry. Marine macrofauna and their associated microbial symbionts are prolific producers of small molecules known as marine natural products, a rich source of chemical novelty for the pharmaceutical industry. Deli harnessed the diversity of indigenous South African marine sponges and sea squirts to discover new bioactive marine natural products. His research resulted in the identification of compounds with promising antibiotic and anti-cancer activity that are now being validated for future development as pharmaceutical leads to combat drug-resistant bacterial infections. Congratulations. Ndomiso Venetia Kambule in microbiology. Truffles are underground fungal fruiting bodies that form a relationship with host plants. 3 indigenous desert truffle species and their associated hosts were recorded from semi-arid Kalahari and Molopo regions. The Kalahari truffle is valued as a natural food resource. The other 2 species are less well known. The chemical profiles of the truffles revealed uniquely different biochemical properties that warrant further investigation. This research brings cultivation of these truffles one step closer, benefiting local communities while also supporting conservation and sustainable harvesting efforts. Congratulations. Wakisa Kipandula in microbiology. Antimicrobial resistance, the silent pandemic, is a major global health threat, causing more deaths annually than HIV, AIDS, and malaria combined. And there is a critical need for new classes of antibiotics to treat drug-resistant infections. Wakisa used multi-omic approaches to assess the potential of bacteria native to Antarctica and the subantarctic Marian Island as a source of new antibiotics. His research sheds light on a treasure trove of biosynthetic gene clusters producing potentially novel antimicrobial compounds. Congratulations. Elisa Kerrigan in biochemistry. Kaposi sarcoma-associated herpes virus causes 3 different cancers, mainly in HIV-infected individuals. These cancers are in the top 10 cancers in South Africa, but there are no effective treatments. Using genetic, molecular, and chemical biology approaches, Elisa characterized the interplay between the virus and the human proteostasis systems during different phases of the infection. Elisa identified 2 new targets that, when inhibited, blocked viral replication. Her work paves the way for future targeted antivirus cancer therapies. Congratulations. Abigail Poleng Kilkaldi in zoology. Stoneflies are important indicators of healthy water resources. Abigail's research reported 15 new species of Neoperla stoneflies from southern and central Africa. Abigail established their relationships within the African fauna using molecular and morphological evidence, and contextualize their geographical distribution by reviewing the fossil history of all stoneflies in the southern hemisphere. Abigail developed tools for identifying adult and nymphs and provided the ecological significance of each South African species. Congratulations. Miriam Christina Mattison in human kinetics and ergonomics. Despite decades of research, muscle fatigue remains a significant contributor to injury in industry. Traditionally, fatigue research has focused on static and dynamic forces, although those hardly occur in isolation. Miriam had developed a novel system for classifying muscle exertion consisting of combinations of muscle length and force to investigate fatigue development. She found that variations in muscle length and force do not necessarily enhance fatigue resilience. This has significant implications for understanding fatigue in the workplace and consequently for preventing work-related musculoskeletal disorders. Congratulations. James Ross McCafferty in Fisheries Science. The construction of large dams is vital for enhancing our water and energy security, but it can have a profound impact on aquatic ecosystems and the surrounding communities. Using socio-ecological approach, James investigated the Lesotho Highlands Water Project. He revealed how new fisheries emerged, intertwining conservation and livelihoods, and how history shapes community adaptive potential, highlighting that sustainable dam development should integrate ecology and society and should be guided by empathy and inclusion to ensure that human progress uplifts both local people and the natural systems that sustain them. Congratulations. Siphumelela Tandokwazi Makondwane in chemistry. Organic pollutants discharged into wastewater from textile and pharmaceutical industries pose a global threat to the quality of drinking water. These compounds are highly carcinogenic and detrimental to aquatic life, hence their complete mineralization to less toxic compounds is mandatory. Siphumelela used sunlight and ultrasound to degrade the pollutants using dyes and nanoparticles. The dyes were supported on fibers for reusability. The fibers he developed can also be used for protective clothing, drug delivery systems, and wound dressings. Congratulations. Siyasanga Tracy Nkiva in entomology. Water hyacinth remains a major invader of freshwater systems in southern Africa. Biological control on its own is often perceived to be too slow in reducing the infestation of the weed, while herbicides present environmental challenges. Sia investigated the combination of biological control with sublethal concentrations of herbicides. She showed that sublethal concentrations could effectively stall plant growth, allowing the biological control agent populations to increase, resulting in quicker control of the weed as part of an integrated control strategy. Congratulations. Uzia Muntumbi in environmental science. Solar systems provide affordable energy and carbon emission reduction, but income inequality in South Africa means the poor can be left behind. Using extensive household surveys in 4 Eastern Cape cities, Uzia examined solar adoption and barriers across a differentiated income gradient. She showed a complex interplay of financial, institutional, technical, and social barriers to solar uptake, but with a disproportionate impact on low-income households, with tailored pro-poor strategies, without tailored pro-poor strategies, including flexible financing, the power purchase agreements, the concept of a just energy transition remains a cliché in sustainability debates. Congratulations. Nongelwa Cordelia Nomtego in fishery science. The South African hake fishery is the country's most valuable, providing major export revenue, employment, and food security. Lungelwa has contributed to enlarging our knowledge on the life cycle and details of the biology of the Cape hake. For example, producing a revised method for assessing sexual maturity and how to map this in time and space. This information slots into the assessment of hake stocks and contributes to the sustainability of this fishery, allowing us to continue to enjoy South African hake on the menu of restaurants globally. Congratulations. Suleha Rajak in environmental science. Globally, sacred forests are recognized as a community-based approach for conservation of biodiversity and local cultures, yet they have hardly been noted in South Africa. Suleha undertook a deeply interdisciplinary study of 2 sacred forests in the KwaZulu-Natal region. Using a mix of ethnographic, archival, remote sensing, interviews, and ecological methods, Suleha plotted their social, cultural, and ecological changes since colonial times. She revealed a complex mix of changes and beliefs that have altered the way the sacred forests are viewed and used, although both remain relatively intact. Congratulations. Mataboho Mary Raleketla in Water Resource Science. Mataboho worked in a large Eastern Cape river catchment restoration project that focused on livelihoods, ecosystem health, and developing governance capacity. She critically examined the quality of stakeholder engagement. Mataboho used the pioneering methodology of poetic inquiry to transform deep personal participation experiences into empathetic and galvanizing poems aimed to stir policymakers and water resource managers into paying real attention to fair participation. Key fairness factors are recognizing individuals, balancing hope and frustration, honest human connection, and careful sensitivity to context. Congratulations. Kenyelwa Mule Sibola in entomology. Hartebeespoort Dam has been plagued by water hyacinth since 1970s. Kenyelwa showed that large-scale releases of insect biological control agents, in particular the water hyacinth planthopper, at the beginning of summer when the weed germinates, can significantly reduce weed populations in the absence of herbicide applications, restoring the functioning of the dam. Despite this success, the biggest challenge facing the dam remains the high levels of nutrients it receives from the catchment, making it the most polluted water body in the world. Congratulations. Bongiwe Sibia in biochemistry. Cancer cells require anchorage-independent growth in 3D for malignancy and metastasis. Bongiwe used advanced molecular, cell biological, and imaging methods to demonstrate the importance of the protein HOP for 3D cancer cell growth. She showed that loss of HOP blocked cancer growth in 3D, and that in colon cancer cells, this was linked to specific changes in intracellular communication pathways that resulted in cancer cell death. Her work supports the development of anti-cancer therapies against HOP in future. Congratulations.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Humanities to the following candidates. And notably, Mr. Chancellor, 6 of these 16 candidates are members of staff of the faculty. Taryn Linda Alexander in Sociology. Based on a philosophy of internal relations, the thesis offers a dialectical analysis of how contemporary neoliberalism configures the academic practices of sociologists at universities in the Eastern Cape. It identifies an underlying contradiction characterizing the university between insular careerism and critical public engagement. However, the thesis demonstrates that sociologists experience and understand the tensions in terms of paradoxes, not contradictions, rooted in an external relations conception of the world. Congratulations. Tulisile Gcinile Dlamini. In English Language and Linguistics, this thesis investigates the sound pattern of English dialects spoken in Eswatini, where British pronunciations abound with syllabic consonant. Such words are systematically pronounced in Swati English with an extra vowel sound in Swati English. The work investigates a complex interplay between the influence of neighboring sounds, the quality of the inserted vowel, and the position where it is inserted, and derives the pattern from universal constraints on syllable structure. Congratulations. Mr. Chancellor, I'll proceed to the next candidate. There is currently a missing citation, and I would like the head of the department to assist me, or someone from sociology. Just sit there. Francis Kapiri, in Journalism and Media Studies. The study examines the Malawian history of radio listener clubs, tracing lines of influence between this history and ideas about radio that originate from Europe, America, and Latin America. It proposes that influence from the North was informed by an interest in colonial rule, while influence from the South represented an exchange of ideas about emancipation. The study reveals that the emancipatory approach to listener clubs became strongly articulated in the Malawian community radio sector. Recommendations are offered for ways in which this emancipatory potential can be more fully realized across the Malawian radio landscape. Congratulations. Rafaela Cosima Tandeka Lindus, in the Department of Fine Art. This rich and vivid creative practice PhD explores the complexities of transnational identity in the context of memory and its loss. Lindus draw on 3 generations of analog and digital familial archives to tease out entanglements, tensions, and slippages between memory, representation, and placelessness in her transnational family experience. Comprising a series of video installation and accompanying textual practice, this submission is the first to emerge from Rhodes University's newly developed Fine Art PhD program. Congratulations. Sisonke Mawonga. In the School of Languages and Literature. This study explores the use of students' primary languages in university classrooms to facilitate learning and access to knowledge embedded in their languages. Data was collected through observations in an extended studies classroom, were students engaged with threshold concepts using their primary languages. Interviews were also conducted with the students to capture their perspectives on multilingual teaching and learning. The study revealed that students effectively use their primary languages to facilitate understanding and epistemic access when enabled to do so, thereby affirming transformative potential of multilingualism in higher education. Congratulations. Rendani Gabriela Molubo. In the School of Languages and Literature. Rendani Molubo's groundbreaking study explores how women can, often unknowingly, uphold patriarchal traditions that limit their freedoms and the freedoms of other women. Grounded in African feminisms and African womanism, the research analyzes 4 key isiXhosa texts to reveal the strategies women employ to resist oppression, to assert agency, and to transform cultural norms. It celebrates their courage, resilience, and solidarity, offering profound insights into gender, power, and the ongoing quest for equality in African societies. Congratulations. Carla Mostert in drama. This thesis examined how white identity is performed in everyday life and its entanglement with racism in South Africa. It emerged through a collaborative practice research process, ending with an anti-conclusion that highlights the importance of rewriting the script of whiteness using performative methods. Despite whiteness' perpetual mantra that race exists as singular and box line, the research calls to dissolve that perception of whiteness, destabilizing the idea that white identity is natural, absolute, and credible. Chancellor, this is part of the work we're doing to try to transform the institution at this moment. Congratulations. Fuyelwa Olese Moyo. In music, this study explores how music, soundscapes, traditional cultural expressions, storytelling, and rituals connect people to their environment and heritage in Hamburg, in Eastern Cape. It shows that sacred spaces act as living archives, preserving memory, culture, and ecological knowledge. By integrating community traditions with ecological concerns, the research demonstrates how sonic and cultural practices can reshape archives, reframe knowledge systems, and generate innovative understanding of sustainability and human-environment relationships. Congratulations. Luanga Rashil Mwilu in journalism and media studies. This study investigates the role of social media in the shift from ethnic tribes as natural political cleavages to emerging online neo-tribes, temporarily situated, affectual, and not geographically bound, and as silent forms of affiliations during the 2021 Zambian general elections. Using a neo-tribal lens, the study also adds nuance from a global South perspective to discourses on social media's anti-democratic potential and possible implications for nascent democracies such as Zambia's. Congratulations. Ms. Chancellor, I will for now skip this candidate. There are some candidates that had not informed us that they were coming through and we didn't get the citation in time. I will deal with this in a moment, Ms. Chancellor. Megan Joan Roos in psychology. This thesis shows how, despite a human rights-based policy framework, state structures fall short in supporting pregnant women, rendering them vulnerable to multiple reproductive injustices while also holding them individually responsible for their reproductive outcomes. The findings suggest that the biomedically based antenatal care model is woefully inadequate in promoting the supportability of pregnancies. Mutual sectoral efforts to enhance micro-level and macro-level support is needed. Congratulations. Natalie N. Weston in English. This thesis explores the concepts of authenticity, sincerity, and their perceived opposites in art history, the fake and the forgery. This wide-ranging interdisciplinary study examines several case histories of South African visual and live performative art to advocate for the transformative potential of sincerity as lens for understanding art's role in shaping local cultural expression, as distinct from a performative authenticity tailored towards economic imperatives and international markets. Congratulations, right. Thank you very much. This is thank you. Keep it here. Give me so that it doesn't close. Thank you very much. Ayanda Gamedze in sociology. In 2016, Rhodes University bore witness to the hashtag RU reference list, a student-led movement that aimed to raise awareness around sexual violence on campus and see justice through brought to survivors of sexual violence. The thesis explored how male students from Rhodes University experienced spaces and attitudes of toxic masculinity on campus in the years before the RIU reference list. In theorizing that these spaces and attitude contributed to the rise of the RIU reference list. Congratulations, Ayanda. Rachel Oluwayemisi Odunton in psychology. This study explores how black adolescent girls in South Africa can independent and township schools shape their identities through their natural hair journeys. It reveals how limited transgenerational knowledge, saloon experiences, internalized biases, and socio-economic context influence identity formation. Despite these challenges, the girls assert agencies by embracing their natural hair and rejecting Western beauty standards, which are, by their action, offering powerful insight into how wearing natural hair becomes an act of resistance, confidence, and black identity affirmation. Congratulations.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour to present Desiree Wicks for the Vice-Chancellor's Distinguished Service Award. The Registrar's Division at any institution is rightfully regarded as the port of entry and the port of exit for all students. Members of the division both welcome wide-eyed first-time entering students and bid farewell to seasoned graduates as they are ushered into the exciting world that lies beyond the campus perimeter. Of course, the entry and exit cogs are separated by a generous collection of intermediary and cooperating cogs that make sure the engine that is the Registrar's Division turns daily, smoothly, and without hiccup. But it would be to deny reality to suggest that all cogs are equal. In strong deference to George Orwell, some cogs really are more equal than others. For the last decades, the cog that is Mrs. Wicks has operated flawlessly, empathetically, and with remarkable precision and effectivity. More so, without any trace of discontent, dissatisfaction, or disaffection. Mrs. Wicks embodies the essence of what it means to serve Rhodes University with distinction. Her service to Rhodes University commenced in 1986 when she joined the Institute of Freshwater Studies as secretary. In 1989, she transitioned to the Registrar's Division, where she has served with distinction for over 3 decades, steadily advancing through the ranks to assume the critical role of manager of the Student Bureau. This progression reflects her professional competence and the trust and confidence placed in her by successive university administrations. As Mrs. Wicks approaches her retirement at the end of 2025, it is fitting that we recognize her extraordinary contribution to our institution. Such contribution spans nearly 4 decades, during which she has witnessed tremendous transformation. In 1994, she cast her first vote in a democratic South Africa at the university's Great Hall. More so, she has championed student democracy, counting SRC election votes for decades. So much so that she's been around long enough to have seen Vuyo Kashla serve as deputy president of the Rhodes University SRC and decades later as chair of the Rhodes University Council. In 2002, she was on hand to help President Nelson Mandela onto stage to receive an honorary doctorate. 5 years later, in 2007, she was there again to ensure he had front row seats to witness his grandson graduate with a degree in politics. As Rhodes transformed, so did Mrs. Wicks. From 2004 onwards, the very proper Mrs. Wicks made sure all her students had access to condoms and information about safer sex. As students and staff fought to access to antiretrovirals during the dark days of AIDS denialism. In 2009, in support of her students, she joined her first silent protest against sexual violence, and she volunteered to train as an harassment reporting officer. In 2015, during the Fees Must Fall protests, she kept the Student Bureau running and ensured the students of Mandela Hall felt heard, seen, and protected. Turning to the beginning of the year, Mrs. Wicks has warmly welcomed first-year students for decades as they anxiously navigate the registration process at the start of their Rhodes career. She has also proudly congratulated those same students as they nervously prepare to walk across the graduation stage, celebrating the end of their Rhodes journey. Never short of homely advice, she has also always reminded them to spit out their chewing gum so that their graduation video isn't simply ruined. As manager of the Student Bureau, Mrs. Wicks oversees one of the most critical functions of the university, that of serving as the primary interface between the institution and its students. The responsibilities encompass, but are by no means limited to, managing the complex process of student admissions, including oversight of admission point scores, placement in academic programs, and coordination with various examining bodies. Orchestrating the seemingly impossible annual task of allocating thousands of students to university residences, ensuring fairness and efficiency in a process that fundamentally shapes student experience. Ensuring the seamless execution of graduation ceremonies, like today, from behind-the-scenes logistics to the dignified management of the stage party, including the Chancellor, Chair of Council, Vice-Chancellor, Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Deans, and Honorary Doctorates, and of course maintaining comprehensive institutional data systems and providing critical reports for internal management and external funders with remarkable efficiency. The pundits suggest that institutional knowledge is as valuable as gold, but sometimes as rare as a blue moon. For successive generations of academic and support staff, gold is replete in Mrs. Wicks, and a blue moon rises daily in the Student Bureau. Indeed, her role in inducting dozens of new deans into the complexities of student admissions, residence systems, and academic regulations has been particularly noteworthy. This has safely ensured continuity of institutional memory and best practices, not to mention peace of mind amongst colleagues and students. Student development has not escaped Mrs. Wicks's influence. This is no better reflected than in her distinguished years of service as residence manager, previously known as a warden, and cluster coordinator, previously known as a hall warden in the university's residence system. During these years, she developed meaningful relationships with thousands of students, contributing significantly to their personal and academic development, demonstrated exemplary care and support for students, and built lasting friendships with fellow residence managers. Student welfare has also enjoyed Mrs. Wicks's genuine commitment. Her approach to student services is characterized by accessibility, compassion, and professionalism. The modern world is often distinguished by change as the only constant. Throughout her career, Mrs. Wicks has demonstrated remarkable adaptability, embracing technological changes and system upgrades while maintaining service excellence. Her mastery of data systems and ability to generate comprehensive reports at short notice have been invaluable for institutional planning and external reporting requirements. Despite her central role in university operations and extensive influence on institutional processes, Mrs. Wicks remains humble. She embodies the principle of servant leadership, consistently placing the needs of students, colleagues, and the institution above personal recognition and advancement. And, sitting quietly beside humility, loyalty to Rhodes University completes the Desiree, who is Mrs. Wicks. Throughout her career, she has maintained an unwavering positive attitude towards the institution, consistently speaking well of the university and demonstrating genuine pride in being part of the Rhodes University community. This loyalty has been reciprocated by the deep respect and affection she enjoys from colleagues and students alike. At the end of the year, Rhodes University will bid an extraordinarily sad farewell to Mrs. Wicks. She has served what seems a lifetime at the institution and in multiple capacities. Many, if not most of us, have had contact with, worked with, or needed advice from her as we have navigated our roles, our students, our lives. Very fortunately, she will leave a formidable, proud, and lasting legacy. Finally, I'm delighted to capture a tiny part of her overall contribution in a fun-filled form, accompanied with much love and affection. And it goes thus. Eden Grove is made of mortar and bricks, filled with people, processes, and computer clicks. But for a perfectly distributed residence allocation or an anxiety-free and smooth-running graduation, look no further than the unflappable Desiree Wicks. Mr. Chancellor. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Chancellor, for unbridled, unparalleled, and unsurpassed service to the University, I have the honour to request you to award the Vice-Chancellor's Distinguished Service Award to Desiree Wicks.
I also confer degrees on those candidates named in the program who are in absentia. Please stand for the singing of the national anthem. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I dissolve this congregation of Rhodes University.
professores, vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat membrum quaelibet, vivat membra quaelibet, semper siiti flores, semper siiti flores. Vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat academia, vivat professores, vivat